Hi, and welcome to the Yarn Habit Geek podcast. My name is Laura, and you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Ravelry as Yarn Habit Geek. There's also a Ravelry group where you can find all the show notes and where you can join in on my very first knit along / crochet along, which is gonna be starting on June 1st. So, let's get started with this week's episode, shall we? Alright, it's Whips of the Week. I've got a whole bunch of whips, especially since I took some of my work on the train to Ottawa just this past weekend, and I will be talking more about my little trip to Ottawa in the next segment. But first up is the Molly Weasley house coat, and I am working on the first front half of the house coat, and the fact that I started this, I think, after last week's podcast, and I'm basically got about 50 rows done, which I'm proud of doing that. So hopefully I can have this half of the front done by next week. So hopefully I can get that done. And next up is the Ron Weasley blanket. And this is the one I actually worked on the train. And I finished the last two squares for row 3. And let's just say I was a little excited. And I attached them all. Attached the last two to the blanket. And now we have the third row finally complete. And I finally figured out how to keep all the long yarn tails that I used to sew up the squares to each other. But here we go, we're on the trail of the blanket. Row 3. So, all the previous squares and the squares I finally added in. And these are the two squares I worked on the train ride to and from Ottawa. So, yay for that. And I am actually currently working on the first square of row 4, and I'm keeping it in my Zigzag Stitches telephone box bag. And this is the start of the first square of row 4. It's the second diagonal little stripe square, and I am excited to work on that because it is different than doing the back and forth because I have to remember how much I'm working. So there is that, and that is back in the bag. And let's see what is now. Next one is the Red Hood sweater. I only got maybe a round done since the last I showed this, which was last week, but it's not much. But I am on the start of the targets. I'm on the third round of the target pattern. I am hoping I can get a good majority of the target done for next week, so you guys get to see all the awesomeness of me working on this, since I am working off of fan art for this sweater, which is awesome because love of fan art. Basically, if I see an art form, just an art picture of it, I will most likely knit it. Alright, next up is the Infinity Gauntlet, and I am almost out of yarn. I am working on the wrist, basically the arm wristlet part, but this is almost done, and then I gotta work on the other part that goes onto this, and then the little designs, but I'm probably going to need to pick up more yarn, unless I have another yarn ball of the sink or somewhere around. I cannot remember. It's probably in a bag. But that will hopefully be done by next week, hopefully. And next up are my Final Fantasy knits. And I got back to work on the Riku scarf, and I attached a new ball to it. So, obviously, yeah, I'm past the halfway point, so hopefully I can get this more work done on this on Friday, since Friday is my designated Final Fantasy knit day. But I will be so happy when this is finished, and then I get to dye it all up. It's the dyeing process I am looking forward to, because I did a little test dye just to see how it would turn out. Test dye turned out perfectly. Now, next up, which I also brought with me on my trip to Ottawa, just for in between when I finished the squares on the train, stored in my very first Zigzag Stitches bag with all the cats and the yarn balls is, well, it's not much, because I find out with these wooden needles by Knit Picks, I work a little more slowly, because for some strange reasons, sometimes the tips break on me when I work ridiculously long and hard on the on projects. So I'm probably going to, in the near future, replace these with Addy needles, and then I can just work full blown hard on knitting these. But it's just a couple rows of the rib knit. Hopefully I can get more done on this, since it's ridiculously long. Once I get to the part where I get to split it into the two fronts and the backs, then it will probably work a little faster. But till then, till I get the new needle, well, to knit this on, it's going to wait a while. Well, I'll probably work on it a bit, but hopefully soon I will pick up the new needles for this. And last is something I worked on after last week's episode, and it's for the Frozen Anna amigurumi, and I just finished crocheting the skirt portion for her, and now I get to do all the design work that is on the bottom trim of the skirt. And well, later today I will be working on more amigurumis, these including I might possibly work on my Hocus Pocus set, although one of the Hocus Pocus characters is gone now, and I will be talking about that in the next segment. But that is it for Whips of the Week. Let's get on with the next segment. Alright, so we are on our last segment for this week's episode, and I'm going to be talking about Ottawa Comic Con, which is going to have a little bit of yarn talk, because there was an amazing costume made there, which I'm just going to go right in. There was, on the day I went to Ottawa Comic Con, there was this amazing Abe Sapien cosplay made entirely out of yarn, and I had to take a picture of it, and it will be, and you'll all get to see it in a little, the super small video after I'm done talking. But there was that, and as you know, I have a bunch of cats, and at that con, there was a therapy cat, and oh my god, that cat was just so fluffy, and you're gonna see that cat too in the video. But basically, the main reason, besides seeing awesome friends at that con, was going to see Doug again. And I got to give him the Abe Sapien and Billy Butcherson amigurumis I made. So yay! Hey, and honestly, that con was such a better experience than most of the Toronto cons I go to, because it's got this nice, I don't know why, it's got this nice atmosphere. like, it's smaller than most of my Toronto cons, but it was just so much better to go to. There was, like, more stuff that I could find there that wasn't in Toronto. At the Toronto cons, even with all the people doing their tables, but let's just say, hopefully I will go back to Ottawa sometime in the future, maybe for a yarn trip, who knows. But that's all I'm going to talk about for Ottawa, because I was only there for the one day. And that is also it for this week's episode of Yarn Habit Geek Podcast. We are going to end with my little video of the pictures I took at the con, including a special photo up at the end. So, till next week, stay crafty, my friends.